Let's get right into it. Number 10. Nighttime eating frenzy. Picture this. You're asleep, minding your own business, when suddenly your body decides it's time for a midnight snack. Except, you're not awake. Sleep-related eating disorder is basically your brain going, calories? Now? At 3 a.m.? Perfect. People with this condition wander into the kitchen, whip up bizarre meals, and sometimes even chow down on things that aren't remotely edible. We're talking butter straight out of the stick, frozen dinners still in the box, or toothpaste sandwiches. And no, I didn't make that last one up. Why does this happen? Well, your brain's wakefulness switch malfunctions. One part of you is unconscious, dreaming of space llamas or whatever, while another part hijacks your motor functions and turns you into Gordon Ramsay's sleep-deprived evil twin. The next morning, you'll find mysterious crumbs in your bed, maybe some raw egg on your shirt, and absolutely zero memory of what went down. From a psychology standpoint, it's a glitch in the slow-wave stage of sleep, the deepest kind. Normally, your brain locks the kitchen door, but here it leaves it wide open and whispers, "Go grab some Doritos." Unfortunately, it's not just quirky, it can be dangerous. People burn themselves on stoves, cut themselves with knives, or eat toxic substances, which means your midnight snack could accidentally become your last meal. Basically, sleep eating is your body's version of drunk texting, except the recipient is your digestive system. Number 9. Murderous sleepwalking. Yeah, so let's raise the stakes. What if sleepwalking didn't just involve a fridge raid but, homicide? It's rare, but throughout history, there have been documented cases of people committing full-on crimes, including murder, while sleepwalking. And the legal system calls it homicidal somnambulism. Doesn't that sound like the name of a metal band? Imagine waking up to police lights and realizing you've been accused of stabbing someone, and you genuinely have no memory of it. It's like your subconscious just went rogue and decided, tonight's the night we reenact a horror movie. The defense here is automatism, meaning the body acted without conscious control. Some courts have acquitted sleepwalkers of crimes, while others, not so much. Psychologists suggest that extreme stress, exhaustion, or even genetic predisposition can make sleepwalking episodes violent. Your fight-or-flight reflex kicks in while you're still in dreamland, and suddenly you are throwing punches at a dream burglar who turns out to be your roommate. The scariest part? If someone in deep sleepwalking mode gets interrupted, they can lash out aggressively because their brain is stuck between dream and reality, which basically makes them a zombie with fists. The takeaway: never sneak up on a sleepwalker unless you want to star in their next episode of Night Terrors, the action movie. Number 8. The roof problem. Sleepwalking isn't always confined to the cozy indoors. Nope, sometimes people take it outdoors. And by outdoors, I mean rooftops, balconies, or even into traffic. There are stories of people climbing onto high ledges, scaling buildings, and somehow not falling. It's equal parts impressive and terrifying, like watching a toddler juggle chainsaws. Your brain is technically unconscious, but the motor system is on autopilot. It's like a self-driving car that forgot what parked means. Some researchers think it's the brain's instinctive navigation skills kicking in. Your body remembers spatial layouts even if you are not consciously aware. That's why a sleepwalker can avoid obstacles but still look like a blank-eyed mannequin roaming around. But the risks are massive. Falling accidents are common, and people have woken up mid-fall, which, let's just say, isn't the best way to start your morning. Imagine snapping awake on a roof, barefoot, and realizing you've just reenacted Spider-Man's origin story without the superpowers. The unsettling part? Families often find creative solutions like locking doors, setting up alarms, or even using baby gates for grown adults. So yes, in some households, a 35-year-old man has to live like a toddler because his brain occasionally decides rooftops are the perfect place for a midnight stroll. ChatGPT said, Number 7, sleep sex. All right, let's talk about the awkward one. There's something called sexsomnia. Yep, that's the real name, where people engage in sexual activity while completely asleep. And before you picture some suave, dreamlike Casanova, let me clarify. It usually looks more like a confused raccoon pawing at a trash can. People might initiate intimacy, make sexual noises, or even attempt intercourse, all with zero memory the next morning. It's basically your body saying, reproductive instincts? Yeah. Let's schedule that for 2 a.m. on a Wednesday when your partner has work in the morning. Unsurprisingly, this can lead to some very uncomfortable situations. Imagine waking up to your partner saying, "Do you realize what you were doing last night?" And your brain going, "What?" "I was dreaming about bowling." Scientifically, it's lumped into the same category as sleepwalking. Partial arousals from deep sleep where the motor system gets activated, but consciousness does not. It's like your brain has forgotten to log you out before someone else hijacks your account. Stress, sleep deprivation, alcohol, or even certain medications can trigger it. The darker side? In rare cases, sexsomnia has been used as a legal defense in sexual assault cases, which makes the whole thing even more disturbing. The courts have had to wrestle with the idea that someone could commit such acts without awareness. Basically, sexsomnia is your nervous system pulling the most inappropriate prank possible. Number 6. Sleep driving. You know how your car has cruise control? Well, imagine if your body did too, but only activated when you're unconscious. Sleep driving is exactly what it sounds like. People get out of bed, grab their car keys, and drive while asleep. And yes, this has been documented enough times to terrify every single insurance company on Earth. One famous case involved a woman who drove 14 miles in the middle of the night while completely asleep. She even managed to navigate turns and traffic lights. Her brain was basically playing Grand Theft Auto in real life while she was unconscious. The cause? Usually sedative medications or extreme stress. These mess with your brain's arousal systems, so instead of just wandering to the fridge, you hop behind the wheel of a 2-ton death machine. The scary part is that sleep drivers don't look obviously impaired. They can steer, brake, and accelerate, except the pilot's not home. The lights are on, but the brain has gone night-night. Psychologists compare it to a motor program that runs on autopilot. You've done the task so many times awake that your brain can execute it asleep, which is impressive until you remember stop signs exist. Sleep driving is basically the universe's way of saying, "Congrats, you've unlocked a new nightmare scenario." Number 5. The knife drawer incident. Okay, here's where things get genuinely hair-raising. Some sleepwalkers gravitate toward dangerous objects like knives, scissors, or even guns. In one case, a man was discovered rummaging through a drawer of sharp kitchen utensils while fully asleep. Another story involved someone cleaning a shotgun in dreamland. The logic? Well, there isn't any. It's your brain stuck halfway between dream defense mode and real-world motor skills. Maybe in your dream you're fighting off pirates, but in reality you're wielding a butcher knife in the kitchen at 3 a.m. This is why family members of sleepwalkers often hide or lock away dangerous items, because you don't want your midnight zombie self deciding it's time for a reenactment of Psycho. Researchers say this happens when the amygdala, your brain's fear and fight-or-flight center, gets activated during sleepwalking episodes. The person thinks they're defending themselves in a dream, but their body is actually acting it out, which is terrifying because it turns an innocent kitchen into a potential crime scene. Basically, your unconscious brain loves adding horror movie extra to its resume. You're asleep, but your body's improvising with kitchen props like it's auditioning for a slasher flick. Number 4. Zombie eyes wide open. Here's a fun fact. A lot of sleepwalkers don't actually look asleep. Their eyes are usually wide open, staring blankly into the void like an unplugged robot waiting for orders. Imagine bumping into someone in your hallway at 2 a.m. and they're standing there, eyes glassy, face expressionless, just staring. Congratulations, you now live in a horror movie. The creepy part? They're not seeing what you see. Sleepwalkers' brains process vision differently, so they might navigate obstacles but completely miss obvious dangers, like walking into traffic or tripping over the dog. It's like their visual system is running on demo mode. Some can even respond to simple questions with robotic monotone answers, which makes them sound less like a human and more like an NPC in a glitchy video game. Neurologists believe this open eyes but nobody home effect is because the occipital lobe, the vision center, is partially active, but the prefrontal cortex, the decision-making part, is still clocked out. Basically, their eyes are on, but their brain is still on airplane mode. To an outside observer, though, it's uncanny. You're looking at a person who seems awake, but if you try to engage, you realize you're talking to a human screensaver. If that doesn't creep you out, just imagine one standing silently in your bedroom doorway at night. Sweet dreams. Number 3. The injury paradox. Here's a bizarre fact. Sleepwalkers can do dangerous, clumsy-looking things and often don't hurt themselves until they wake up. Someone can stumble downstairs, smash through a glass door, or walk barefoot on Legos, the ultimate torture device, and sometimes come out unscathed. But the moment they snap awake, boom, injuries galore. Why? Well, the leading theory is that during sleepwalking, your pain perception is dulled. The nervous system is partially offline, so pain signals don't fully register. It's like your body temporarily becomes Wolverine, minus the cool claws. People have broken bones or sustained deep cuts without flinching, only to wake up hours later covered in blood and bruises thinking, wait, did I lose a fight with a lawnmower? This also explains why sleepwalkers can end up in extreme situations, like wandering into freezing weather without shoes, and not realize until morning when hypothermia starts kicking in. Psychologists call it state dissociation. Your sensory system is running at half power and your brain's pain alarm is on mute. It's a weird paradox. Your unconscious self is basically tougher than your conscious self. So yes, asleep you is braver than awake you. Too bad asleep you is also an idiot with no survival instincts. Number 2. Genetic legacy. If your parents sleepwalked, congratulations. You might be doomed too. Sleepwalking is strongly linked to genetics, with studies showing it often runs in families. One study found that if both parents were sleepwalkers, their child had a whopping 60% chance of inheriting the habit. That's right, it's not just bad eyesight or male pattern baldness you can thank your ancestors for. It's also the privilege of wandering around like a discount zombie. The genes involved seem to affect the brain's arousal systems, making it easier to get stuck in that weird limbo between deep sleep and wakefulness. Combine that with stress, sleep deprivation or certain medications, and boom, you've got yourself a hereditary nightcrawler. It's kind of poetic, really. Your family tree is full of noble traditions, and one of them just happens to be reenacting The Walking Dead in your pajamas. It makes family reunions more interesting, though. Nothing says bonding like swapping stories about who almost walked off a balcony last year. Genetic predisposition doesn't guarantee you'll sleepwalk, but it loads the dice heavily in favor of you becoming a nighttime hazard. So if Grandma once boiled a pot of spaghetti in her sleep, maybe invest in some door locks. Number 1. The memory blackout. Here's the final and possibly most disturbing secret. You'll almost never remember a thing. Sleepwalkers often wake up with zero memory of their midnight adventures. To them, it feels like one continuous sleep, while in reality they may have cooked, argued, driven, or gone full zombie mode. It's the ultimate brain gaslighting. Don't worry, nothing happened. Meanwhile, your family is sitting there like, you tried to put the cat in the dishwasher. This amnesia happens because sleepwalking occurs during slow-wave sleep, when the brain's memory-making machinery, specifically the hippocampus, is basically powered down. Normally, when you're awake, experiences get stamped into long-term memory. But during sleepwalking, it's like scribbling on a whiteboard with invisible ink. Gone. That's why people are often baffled, defensive, or even embarrassed when told what they did. Imagine being accused of throwing frozen peas at the TV or wandering outside in your underwear and having no proof to defend yourself except, "Well, I was unconscious, Your Honor." It's unsettling because it blurs the line of accountability. If you don't remember doing something, was it really you, or was it just your brain running on autopilot? Either way, it makes sleepwalking the ultimate get-out-of-jail-free card for your unconscious self, just not for the poor people who had to deal with you in real time. In short, your body can transform into a nighttime chaos machine, raiding the fridge, wandering rooftops, even endangering lives, all while your conscious mind is blissfully snoozing, which means the real monster under the bed might just be you. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.